Now, the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has stated that the Consumer Price Index, CPI, which measures inflation, dropped to 15.99% year-on-year in October in comparison to the 16.63% it recorded in September. The NBS also noted that the 0.64% point reductions are as a result of moderate increases in all parameters that determine the headline index. And this is the 7th consecutive month of decline in the headline index since March, indicating favorable economic conditions. And going by the CPI report for October as posted on the NBS website, food inflation rose to 18.34% in October compared to 17.38% in October 2020. Now, we would be exploring this, and joining me in the conversation is Kasimu Garba-Karfi, MD CEO at Securities and Fund Limited. Thank you so much for joining us on Business Breakfast this morning, Mr. Kasimu.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now, what would you describe as the major drivers of the drop in inflation rate for the month of October as the figures reflect?
I say it's a combination of so many things. If you remember, the monetary policy is one of the key that address the inflation. Because if you look at the fiscal policy, there wasn't much from the government, but the CBN has been working very hard to see that the expansionary budget did not increase our inflation. Because if you remember, this government, since they came to the power, they have been doing expansionary budget, whereby they are spending more than what they earn. And when you spend more than what you earn, the likelihood is to have the price goes up. We are witnessing it in US, we are witnessing it in UK. All their inflation is going up because they are expansionary budget policy. But monetary policy here, CBN has been doing very well and trying to see that they minimize the inflation, especially in view of so many things that we have to import into this country, which the price of the dollar has gone up, but yet the government do their best, especially the monetary policy, to reduce this. So I see it as a continued policy of this. As long as the CBN continue using their monetary policy, we are anticipating the inflation.
So you are attributing the drop in inflation to the CBN's monetary policy. But the NBS report shows that the Consumer Price Index, that's the CPI, which measures inflation, dropped to 15.99% in October. That's in comparison to 16.63% it recorded in September. But when you look at the prices of goods and services in the market, they seem to be on the increase. How do we juxtapose this? How do we marry this to realities?
Yes, you see, we have to go back and look at the component. The food inflation raised to 18.34% from 17.38% in the month of September. So there was rising in the food. The core inflation also rise to 13.24%. But inflation is a combination of so many things. And what the Nigerian Board of Statistics give us, it is given us an aggregate. And that aggregate may not be the same for all. So to you, in Lagos, maybe what matters to you when you look at your money is more of food. Everybody knows the price of diesel has gone up, the price of gas has gone up, the price of some other food item has gone up, but not all. As of today, I'm talking to you, the price of tomatoes, the price of pepper, they have come down. But it's not the same with the price of
Is that reflecting everywhere, or is it just where you are?
Yes, so what we are saying that as long as every individual may have a different impact.
Mr. Kasimu, you said the price of tomatoes and pepper has gone down. Is that happening everywhere or just where you are? Because as far as...
It is happening even here because of the harvesting period. So if you go to the north, you will see that the price has crashed there. But gradually, because of the cost of the diesel, that where the bad road, the insecurity,
and transportation,
from the north to the south, you still doesn't have the same impact as in the north. Nobody talk of food in the north now because the price has gone down. Except those baby food who are eating the imported food and therefore they get the cost higher. But normal food, no. But not the same in Lagos. Because even if it is cheaper there is increase in the cost of diesel. Now diesel per liter is cost about 340, 350. So the cost of transportation must increase, and even the statistics show that the cost of transportation has increased compared to September. So what it means that, what does it affect you? Maybe it's the rent. And if the rent have increased, you must be feel if it constitute more of your income. Every individual will have the different impact, even though we are saying the inflation come down to 15.99%. That is the aggregate, but not specific. And you look at yourself and see where do you spend most of your salary. And if there is increase there, you must feel it.
Now, the NBS also noted that the 0.64% point reductions are as a result of moderate increases in all parameters that determine the headline index. Now, would you help us better understand these parameters? What are the indices that determine these figures?
Okay, there is so many parameters they do. Food is one of them, transport is one of them, energy is one of them, communication is one of them, and there were about 17 different sectors of the economy that constitute this. And don't forget that they go further and say, what is the urban inflation, what is the rural inflation? So you need to understand all this. So if you are living in the urban, maybe your inflation is rising. Of course it's rising because the urban inflation is 16.52% compared to 14.81%. The previous year. If you look at the rural inflation, is 15.48% compared to 13.68 in the previous year. So either side, the inflation has gone up, but when you compare it to the inflation as at March, there is variations. So if you are comparing year to year, there is increase generally. But if you are comparing from the peak period of March, when it was 18% and above, you will say that we are coming down. So it depends on what parameter you take and from where you are looking at it. And all these matters in arriving at inflation.
So what would it take to have these figures reflect on the prices of goods and services in the market?
Well, you see, it depends. Because even when they say the inflation is coming down, does not mean you go to the market, you get the prices down. Remember, most of the items you get in the market are imported one.
Sure.
And you know that the price of dollar has gone up. So as long as the price of dollar has gone up, the price of those items in the market will go up. But the inflation does not look at that component alone. It will look at all other components. Like the services you are rendering. As an employee, now, did you get a review of your salary? The answer is no. So your inflation is zero in terms of your salary because you have not get any review. You have not get increase. So you take other labors. You see, the housekeepers. Have you reviewed the housekeepers fee? The answer is no. Have you reviewed your security fee? The answer is no. So when you aggregate all these components, you will now appreciate why the National Board for Statistics said that our inflation is declining. Because the aspects that have increased are less compared to the general aspect.
So what are your projections? Mr. Kasimo, what are your projections with regards to the inflation rate for November and December 2021? Do you see these figures further dropping?
Because the dollar prices, even in the parallel market, have started coming down because of more inflow by the CBN. So if the dollar price come down, and we're expecting Nigeria in diaspora, in preparation for the end of the year celebration, Xmas and the New Year, there is more inflow of the dollar. So we expect that price to go down. That is one. You know, this is the harvesting period. So most of the agricultural products are in the process of harvesting, if not because of insecurity, the price of food could have gone further down, and we're expecting it to go further down. So because of that, we are anticipating the November inflation to go further down, and by December, that may be the peak of it that will go further down. We are anticipating to come below 15% by the end of the year.
So are you seeing the Naira getting strengthened as this goes on?
Yes, as long as the price of crude oil is high, you are expecting more inflow. And as long as the CBN keep on supplying to the banks, you will see that even those who are buying dollar for speculation, they will no longer buy it again. Because a lot of people convert their Naira into dollars. And that would make the price to go up. Now they see it coming down. They will rush to sell. And a rush to sell, that will bring more inflow. And when there is more inflow, the price will further go down. And once the dollar goes further down, it's likely to affect our inflation to go further down. And then you and me will start feeling it.
All right, very big thank you to you, Mr. Kasimu Garba Karafi, for joining us on Business Breakfast this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.